Hey guys, it's your boy J-Rob back at it again, and LaMelo Ball will be on the New Orleans Pelicans next season.
They say they can. I know, cause I'm way on top of my flow, and she has nothing that's inside, so I'm out the window.
So yes, like I said it in the beginning of the video, LaMelo Ball will be on the Pelicans in my belief. I believe that they will make their way to New Orleans next season. Now you may be asking, Jordan, why do you believe this? The answer is simple. I was going around looking at NBA mock drafts the other day, and I saw that one mock draft had the New Orleans Pelicans drafting LaMelo Ball. If you have been paying attention this season, you would know that New Orleans Pelicans have been absolute trash, okay? They are the second worst team in the Western Conference, and that is largely in part due to the injury of Zion Williamson. So the Pelicans are thinking, this season's a wash, and Jrue Holiday, they owe it to him. He probably wants to be out of there. He has brothers on the Indiana Pacers that he wants to play with, so they might be thinking, you know what, we gotta trade Jrue. We got to trade Jrue. So their team sucks, and they're getting rid of a point guard, which means that they're going to be looking for another point guard, a point guard for the future, or another guard in general. And they already have Lonzo. Why not get the brother LaMelo? If you look in the NBA, there are already some brother duos in the league, because you do have Aaron Holiday and Justin Holiday on the Pacers, and Jrue Holiday might find his way to that team. We never know. It could happen in a trade. They have been in talks. And if you also look at the Milwaukee Bucks, they have Thanasis and Giannis. Thanasis is not that good, but we'll talk about that later. And finally, you have Robin Lopez and Brooke Lopez also on the Bucks. The Pelicans might be saying, you know, we might want to keep this team chemistry up, so why not get LaMelo Ball? You might be asking, well, what trades can they make, or how can they accomplish this? Well, honestly, it's going to start with trading Jrue Holiday. Now, I was thinking about a trade to the Thunder, and the first trade I thought of was they could possibly get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, because he is the cousin of Nickeil Alexander-Walker. They have so many damn names, it's hard. That could be something that is a possibility, but then I thought, oh, trading Jrue for Shai is not gonna work, because Jrue has $21 million on his contract. Shai doesn't have anywhere near that, but you could kind of make it work with Chris Paul. But at the same time, the Thunder probably don't want to get rid of Shai, because he is the future of that team. So now if we look at another trade that they can make on that team, possibly they could trade for Chris Paul. Alright, they could trade for Chris Paul, even though his contract is like $40 million. They could throw in maybe a Darius Miller, because Darius Miller has 2 years left on his contract and he is garbage. Or they could trade JJ Redick, because JJ Redick, he probably wants to be on a contending team as well, and he has 2 years left on his contract. So they could probably say, yes, let's trade Jrue and JJ Redick. Those two contracts combined comes out to $33 million. You trade him for Chris Paul, you give Chris Paul basically a final bow in New Orleans, because he won't return with them the season following unless he signs for like a bag of chips, okay? And that's one thing we have to talk about, is the salary cap, or the salary situations with the Pelicans, because they can make a lot of moves this summer. And it's going to start with Jrue Holiday this season, I already said that, but also they have the expiring contract of Derrick Favors. That contract is very important, because it's $17 million, and they already have two bigs that are kind of promising on their team, and I don't know if they want to keep them around if they have Derrick Favors. They have Jackson Hayes, and they have Jahlil Okafor. Jahlil Okafor will be a free agent this year, and his contract is right now, as it stands, $1 million. You know Jahlil's gonna be looking for that bag. He's gonna be looking for that bag. If they re-sign Derrick Favors for, let's say, more than $17 million, that might not actually work out. So they might have to let him walk, or if he wants to sign for less, that might work out. But when I look at it, Jahlil Okafor, he's 3 years younger. They had about the same stats this season, even though Derrick Favors has been injured for some games. And Jahlil might settle for less. He might settle for like $10 million. Who knows? But then you also have Jackson Hayes, who has loads of potential. This guy has only been playing basketball since, I believe, like the 10th grade. So just imagine if they do get LaMelo Ball, they will have LaMelo Ball at the point, Lonzo Ball at the 2, and Brandon Ingram at the 3, Zion Williamson at the 4, and Jackson Hayes. That is one thing I also want to touch on, is that getting rid of Jrue Holiday opens the door for keeping Brandon Ingram, because like I said, Jrue Holiday has $21 million on his contract for next season, and then the season after that, I believe. And we all know Brandon Ingram's going to be a free agent, so he's going to be looking for that bag as well. He wants that max. He deserves a max. How can the Pelicans give him that max? Well, they could rescind the rights or renounce the rights on Derrick Favors and trade Jrue Holiday. That is what is going to happen if they want to keep Brandon Ingram around. If they want to go into the route of kind of rebuilding a young core, I think they can do it if they make that move of trading Jrue Holiday, possibly letting Derrick Favors walk. Then you sign Brandon Ingram for like $35 million a year for like 4 years, give him a player option, and then you draft LaMelo. Now you might be asking, where does LiAngelo Ball fit into the picture of this? So we all know LiAngelo Ball is the worst of the Ball brothers. He is, okay, he's not a horrible basketball player. He played D1, played one exhibition game though, but he played professionally. He did play professionally, but he hasn't played in a few years, or I guess 2 years, I believe. So he might be a little rusty, but he can shoot. He's kind of athletic. He's strong. I don't know how his defense is, but he could possibly make his way onto a G League roster or get a two-way deal. This is not far-fetched by any means, because if you have two brothers on the team, you can just be like, hey, yo, get my other brother on the team. Because when you look at the New York Knicks, they got this dude, Chris Smith, with J.R. Smith, okay? Chris Smith was not he wasn't good. He was not good, and they signed him to an actual NBA deal just because his brother was J.R. Smith. And when you look at Giannis and Thanasis on the Knicks, didn't do anything. He's not that good. He's athletic. Very athletic, but he's not that good, and we all know why. We all know why he's on the team, and that reason is because he is Giannis Antetokounmpo's brother. So if you have LaMelo and you have Lonzo, then I can see the Pelicans throwing a bone and be like, hey, Zylan Cheatham, we don't need you on this team. Okay, skedaddle. We'll give a little deal to LiAngelo, and he could possibly get like a 10-day contract if he starts out on a G League contract. I do not think this is far-fetched at all. I think the Pelicans might already have this in mind, saying, so we could keep Jrue Holiday, but we might not be able to keep Brandon Ingram. But if we get rid of Jrue Holiday, then we get to keep Brandon Ingram, and we'll still be able to draft LaMelo Ball. Because if we get a high pick, I don't think other teams are going to take a chance on LaMelo Ball unless it's the New Orleans Pelicans. But this scenario, also another factor in this scenario, is going to be the play of Lonzo Ball throughout this season. If he keeps up the good work, or he gets better, improves, then I definitely see the Pelicans saying, hey, we should bring in his brother. But if Lonzo is just underperforms, then they're going to be like, I don't know if we could do this. I don't know. Alright, so I definitely see the Pelicans going in the route to rebuilding with a young core and drafting LaMelo Ball and getting LiAngelo Ball on a G League or two-way deal. Unfortunately, Jrue Holiday is going to get nicked. He's going to get traded, but he might get traded to a contender. And I would like to see that, because I've been a fan of Jrue Holiday ever since he was on the Sixers. And, you know, I've been cheering for him, rooting for him. So if he gets traded, I'll cheer for him. But, you know, I'll still cheer for the Pelicans. I don't call myself a fan because I'm a Knicks fan. Alright, but I do like a lot of players on the Pelicans. I like Zion. I like Lonzo. So, I don't know. I guess I kind of have to cheer for the team. But yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. But if that happens, if this all happens, just say you saw this video first. I told y'all this was going to happen. I told y'all this was going to happen. I am Nigadamus. I predicted the future. Come back to this video, and you know, I told you so. But yeah, let me know what y'all think down below. And as always, this has been another J-Rob video. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell. And peace. Run the game like LeVar. finessing like I'm Jello, ballin' like I'm Lonzo. Wild boy, call me Mellow. Run the game like LaVar, finessing like I'm Jello, ballin' like I'm Lonzo.